Hello, Marisol here, Heartfluencer, Season 7 graduate. Welcome. I'm so glad that you are here. I am so glad that you are watching this video because it means that you're serious about change. It means that something pulled on your heartstrings that led you here, and this is exactly where you need to be. 6 short weeks ago, I was in my bed with the covers pulled up over my head, and I had been for, I was going to say 2 years, but it had been longer than that. My husband passed 2 years ago, but 5 years ago, I was in a train derailment. And really, ever since then, I had slowly but surely just started checking out of life. And then my husband got sick and then he passed. And once he passed, it was as if I did too. I was alive, but I wasn't living. I got up for my kids. I put on my brave face whenever they came around. But when they weren't around, I was in bed. I was completely just wasting my life. I was in bed with the covers up over my head, and I didn't have any motivation. I had no passion. I had no desire. All I had was tears. All I had was sorrow. All I had was heartache. I'd wake up crying. I'd cry during the day. I'd go to sleep crying. And then my daughter who lives with me found Tim, and she said, "Mom, we're going to pull ourselves out of this, Mom. We can't stay like this. Dad would never have wanted us to live like this. He would have wanted us to live." And so she got me on the webinar, and the webinar was amazing. I learned a lot of things from Tim. But what surprised me the most was my Gabby, who had not been excited about anything, who had been in a very deep depression, was excited about something. And she was just, and at the end of that webinar, she jumped right in and made the investment without even a moment's hesitation, without even a conversation. I was like, what? Whoa. And she said, "Mom, I am priceless. I know what this is going to do for me. This is exactly what I've needed. This is exactly what I've been waiting for. I've been wanting to find a way to pull myself out of this darkness. And I know this is going to be it. We have to do this work, Mom. I want to do this, but I'm not going to do it without you." So what could I do? All I could do was be excited with her and join. And thank goodness that I did, because I joined for Gabby, to be honest. I wanted to see her break out of that depression and that darkness. I wanted to see her creating again. She's a singer-songwriter. She's an artist. She's a writer. And I wanted to see her creativity start to flow instead of all this sadness pouring out of her. And so, of course, I was going to jump in and join her and support her. But what started happening as I started to do the work, I started changing myself. And I started wanting to climb out of that abyss of grief. And as I was climbing out of the abyss, I looked up. And what I saw was a human chain of heartfluencers. And they were all hanging on to each other. And they were reaching out their hand for me. And it was just beautiful, this incredible supportive community of people who dared to turn the camera on themselves and to share from their heart, to do the work, to do every challenge, to get on the lives. And even if they weren't on the lives, they were watching the replays, but they got in there and they were doing the work and they were cutting on that camera. And we learned so much from one another. And we learned from Tim, and we learned and we grew together. And it has just been such an amazing, amazing journey. And my heart that was shattered in so many pieces that I never dreamed I could recover, are actually starting to make their way back home again, thanks to LMA. So you're here for a reason. Stop overthinking. Don't even hesitate. Come into this community, because we're waiting to welcome you with open arms, because your life is about to change for the better. If you're serious about change and you're willing to do the work, all you've got to do is show up. All you've got to do is show up. Take those challenges seriously, do the work, and I promise you, you are going to see an amazing transformation. I know I did in myself. I've seen it in my daughter, and I've seen it in all the wonderful and beautiful people that I've met throughout this season, and who I've watched like literally just break out of their shells and just come forward with such incredible power and strength, thanks to what we learn here at LMA. So stop hesitating. What are you waiting for? Get in here. We want to see you on the inside.